Welcome to the Words to Empower podcast, featuring Bishop Frank Stewart, pastor of the Acts Ministry in Conway and North Little Rock, and now Pastor Stewart.
But it still can be better. So this is my subject. Now watch this. Listen to this. Positioning yourself in a better place to see better in 2020. Positioning yourself. We're talking about 2020 lenses this year, spiritual lens. So we're talking about seeing this year. That's important. If you don't do anything else, if you don't receive anything else this year, but to be able to see you, I've accomplished my job. So here is Zacchaeus. He put himself in position, in a better position, in a better place, so he could see better. Now, when you look at him, you look at Zacchaeus, it says he was short. He was short. And I don't believe he's talking about just regular not being tall, but I think there's something much deeper here, that he was so short. Wasn't maybe not a midget, but he has some stuff going on with him. And every one of us, there are some obstacles that we have that will keep us or try to keep us from getting to Jesus. Oh, you got to see that. That will keep us to just getting to where we need to go in Jesus. When you look at the text and you understand Jesus is in Jericho, passing through Jericho, when he was coming into Jericho, he met blind Bartimaeus. And blind Bartimaeus had some obstacles in his life that was trying to keep him from getting to Jesus. Because if you can just get to Jesus, everything going to be all right. But let me tell you, the devil is not going to allow you just to walk up on Jesus like that and receive what you need from him. It didn't happen in the Bible, and it's not going to happen for us. I remember having a conversation with the Lord, and there was a great struggle, and I was like, Lord, the devil's doing this, and he's fighting and whatever. And God just calmed me down. He said, did you expect to receive all of that without the devil fighting you? If he's not attacking you, brothers and sisters, you're not doing anything. But when you're pushing forward, expect for all hell to break loose when you're moving forward. So on the way into Jericho, now he's on his way out of Jericho, but on his way into Jericho, he runs into who we call blind Bartimaeus. And his obstacle was that he couldn't see. Everybody got something they're wrestling with. Woo, that is good. Look at somebody say, you wrestling with something. You looking all sanctified and saved and quiet and speaking in tongues, but you know what? You got something you wrestling with. But look back at him and say, you had it well. But you're wrestling with something. You know, some folks look all calm and look all collective, like they got it together, and they just a few minutes from wanting to slip their wrists. But to be honest enough to realize that, hey, we got some struggles that all of us, and your struggles are different from mine. We all have unique struggles. That's why we don't need to judge anybody. Because what you're struggling with is nothing for me. In my struggle, you might have said, oh, that ain't nothing, but you don't know to me what that is. So we can't say, I'm going through a whole lot. You don't know what that struggle is for the person. So blind Bartimaeus, he's blind. And just think about this. You know Jesus is coming, but you can't get to him. You don't have anybody to help you to get to Jesus. That's why we need somebody. If he'd have had somebody just to lead him to Jesus, he'd have been all right. But he didn't have anybody, and Jesus is passing by. So what he began to do was cry out, Jesus! You cannot allow yourself to be ashamed that other people might discover your struggles in you calling out for Jesus. He said, Jesus. And they said, shut up. Aren't people cruel? They trying to make you be quiet in areas that you need help in. They want you to hush. And you say, I got to struggle. They don't want you to talk about your struggle. And you can't talk about your struggle to anybody. I would not advise you to go to anybody and just tell them what you're struggling with. Because what we have done, we've gone to people that we begin to look, we're looking for them to have sympathy on us and have compassion and empathy. And we tell them our struggle when they look at us, oh, that ain't nothing. Oh, that ain't nothing. I got over that when I got baptized. You should have got over smoking when you got baptized. You did what? Because we're not there yet. We're not there yet. Huh? So we minimize many times people's struggles. You don't know what people been through. You don't know what they have experienced in childhood. You don't know how they have been impacted and affected. Bartimaeus didn't have anybody to take him to Jesus, but he took matters in his own hand. He started crying out, Jesus. You got to hear his desperate cry, because this is my chance to get healed. This is my chance to see, and he's walking past me. And I don't have anybody to help me, and Jesus is leaving. What I'm going to do, I'm going to open my mouth. Some of y'all healing and deliverance will come if you just open your mouth. And he began to cry out, Jesus. What are you saying, Bartimaeus? I'm messed up. I need a touch. I need help. But you know what? Pride to keep you from crying out. Pride to keep you from didn't want anybody to know, I need help. We all need help. Let me let you in on a secret. Everybody need help from the pulpit to the door. If God doesn't help us, no. If God doesn't help me, I'm not going to be here. So what you got to do, you got to cry out. Forget about who's hearing you. Cry out. Jesus, Son of David. What do you ask? Mercy. That's a good prayer. You don't have to say all other stuff, dear God, our Father, No. Omnipotent, omniscient, I'm not present God who's before anything. No. A good prayer is, Jesus, Son of David, have mercy. And when he said it, see, some people don't know how to pray. They don't know how to pray nothing but talking to God. Stop talking about, I wish I could pray like him or her. No. Prayer is you talking to God the way you talk to Jesus. But the problem is we don't want to get honest. And he's not going to stop until you get honest, because he ain't playing no games. He said, they that are whole need not a physician. And you say, you all right, I'm not going to stop. But when you realize I need help, cried out, Jesus, stop. Jesus, stop. That's an obstacle. When folks telling you to be quiet, shut up. You all right. It's an obstacle. Jesus, stop. They say, he calleth for you. He said, what do you want? He said, I want my sight. I want to be able to see. Because the man that's telling me to shut up, he's seeing. The man that's telling me to be quiet, he can see. The man that's telling me that I can make it through that, he's got a wife in the bed with him.
Stay tuned for more of Frank Stewart. And now for some special announcements.
Thanks for partnering with the Acts Ministries. We value your service and your donations. That's why we've made it easy to make contributions to support our ministry. Simply go to your web browser and click the search bar and type in actsministriesonline.org. Then click Donate Online. It's really that easy. For mobile giving, text the amount you wish to donate to 501 302-4242. That's Simple Give.
And now, more of Pastor Frank Stewart.
Struggle, obstacles. Church has done us a disfavor by making us think that everything is going to be downhill. No. First thing Jesus says to us, if you're going to follow me, you're going to need a cross. He don't try to deceive us. He tells us straight up. Matter of fact, count the cost before you say you're going to follow me. Jesus said you need to think about it because you can't follow me without a cross. The woman with the issue of blood, she is watching blood leave her body every day. That's the struggle. See, sometimes we don't understand people sitting next to us, coming to church. We see them all the time. They smiling, but we don't realize they have a struggle. Everybody in here got a struggle. You don't have to be grown to have a struggle. Sometimes your struggle grow up with you. That's why Jesus asked the man, how long you been like this? He said, from a child. There are demons some of us been wrestling with since childhood. But if you try to cover it up, try to act like you great, I'm blessed and I'm highly favored. If it get any better, I don't know if I'm going to be able to stand it. But to come honestly to the throne of grace and say, if you don't help me, I'm not going to be able to make it out of the church today. I can't leave here unless you help me. Throw your hands up and say, Lord, I need some help. Now you got to understand, see, this doesn't work for people that are not desperate. You got to understand, you got to get desperate. Blood is leaving this woman's body. She's bleeding to death. You say, well, I'm not bleeding to death, but you're dying little by little. You're dying because of your proclivities. You're dying because you don't want to give up what you want to keep. And the Lord says, I can't help you doing what you're doing. You're dying. Little by little. We watching you die. She said, if I can I don't need all of them. If I can I don't need to touch him, but if I can just touch the hem. Come on, church. Can you imagine all other church folks bumping up against him? They all over him. She said, I don't need all of that. If I could just touch the hem of his garment, I believe something will happen in my body. But she had an obstacle. Some of y'all waiting on the obstacle to leave. It's not going to leave. You got to press your way. You got to get out of your house. You may have to crawl. You may have to push your way. But you got to get to Jesus. Oh, I feel like preaching. And all she did was just get a touch. Whew. She got a touch. And when she touched the hem, instantly. Oh, you feel that? She touched the hem. Jesus said, wait a minute, somebody just touched me. Being a man, he didn't recognize who it was. Hear me. All man and all God, as God, the Spirit of God withheld certain knowledge from the flesh. Being a man, when he said, wait a minute, something just happened. And all the church folks around him said, Peter said, hey, Lord, everybody touch you. He said, you don't understand. I felt virtue leave my body. I felt virtue leave. Somebody touched me. Somebody had a need. Somebody wasn't ashamed. Somebody needed something. She touched him. She had an obstacle. And we all do. Most of the time, what's really standing in our way is ourselves. Are you listening? Yeah, you're going to have to come back Wednesday night because I'm going to give you a plan for 2020. You got to be here. Call somebody, invite somebody. We're going to work out a plan on how to position ourselves in a place so 2020 will be a better year. And I'm going to tell you, it is going to be so easy. And we're going to go into a covenant with God to make 2020 a better year. It is easy when you understand what Jesus has done. He had an obstacle. The man was lame, he was paralyzed, and they tried to get him to Jesus, but it was so many people there they couldn't get to Jesus. Many folks would have turned around and went back home. Thank God for good friends. Thank God for holy friends. Thank God for friends who have enough faith. The Bible says they picked him up and went up on top of the roof and tore the roof off. We got to get our friend to Jesus. No obstacle stopping me from getting to Jesus. Zacchaeus positioned himself. He couldn't see where he was. He couldn't see because what was his great obstacle to seeing Jesus was what he had been born with. The way he had been born, he was just saying he was little statue. I think that's better than saying he was short. There was something going on that he couldn't see. So he'd been wrestling now. Now he was rich because he was cheating people and he was a tax collector and his own people hated him for working for the Romans. But he was good with numbers and money. But he couldn't see Jesus. He needed to get in a position. What are you saying? I'm saying that there's a place that you can get to where it makes seeing easy. It'll make your seeing much easier because when you're down low, that's why the Bible, that's the main reason for building a pulpit. It's supposed to say to the saints and to the people of God, the pulpit is raised above the people to tell them that's what a leader need to be so he'll be able to see. And it's giving us a physical picture about something that is spiritual. You got to climb up to be able to see. The reason why you can't see is where you are. You got to climb up. He ran. The rich man ran and got ahead of the crowd and positioned himself. There are some things you've been born with. There are some proclivities that you wrestle with. There are some spirits that you came in contact with because you was dropped off at the wrong house with the wrong babysitter. And in the midst of their abuse, they transferred their spirit. And it created an addiction in you. Oh, that's good. You said, well, that's good because he just touched it. Oh, that's good. That's good. Because I hear him saying, I'm getting ready to deliver you today. I'm getting ready to deal with what you've been wrestling with all your life. I'm getting ready to deal with stuff that you as long as you've been alive, you've been having this problem. And you're saying, I'm never going to get free. Oh, you're going to get free. Are you going to get free? Look at somebody say, you're going to get free today. All you need to do is want to get free. You're going to get free today. You say, how can I get free, Pastor? My daddy wrestled with it. My granddaddy had the same spirit. Now, oh, that's good. That's good. That's good. Oh, he's talking. I'm going to the altar call. See, this is the problem. You're trying to act like you don't have the proclivities that you know you have that was in your daddy. You hate him so much, or you don't like the way he was. You don't like the way your granddaddy was. And because you think there's a dislike and you say you'll never be like him. But honey, deep inside of you, in your DNA, that same proclivity is there. And God said it only takes one time to wake it up. Because it's there. And we got to do like Zacchaeus. Ooh. But we got to have people honest enough. Now, y'all got to help me with this because I'm getting ready to do the altar call. Look at somebody and say, we all got struggles. See, what that does is help people come to the altar because they know you got a struggle and they got a struggle. That helps them to come to an altar. But when you act like you perfect, then they don't want to let anybody know that they struggling with something too. Hallelujah. Oh, that's good. That's good. You didn't ask for the struggle. It wasn't your fault. It wasn't your fault. But the struggle is real. The struggle is real. Can we allow the men to come first today? Those that need to. I know some of y'all on top of the struggle. I understand that you fought through, you've gone through that obstacle. But the man that was paralyzed couldn't walk. He had 4 friends. That's what we need. That's what men need. They need somebody that is so determined, we'll tear the roof off to get you healed. We'll tear the roof off to get you delivered. It's not even about us. It's about you. And you know the scary thing about it? You live in fear of hoping and praying that you don't become like something you've seen your whole life. Oh, I got a word for it. The Bible said Elijah became suicidal. He said, Lord, go ahead and kill me. Why you want to die, Elijah? He said, because I'm becoming just like my fathers. I'm becoming just like all the men that I saw growing up. And before I want to become like that, go ahead, he says, go ahead and kill me. Every one of us got obstacles. Every one of us got struggles. And even though sometimes it's buried, it scares you to death. That I will succumb to it. It's a trick of the devil. Greater is he that is within you than he that is in the world. Church has been messed up for so many people because they grew up in church and they saw how daddy and mama acted when they left church. And church just doesn't seem real to them because they saw so much junk growing up in church. And God began to tell me, say, you need to have more compassion on them. Yeah, that's what he said to me. Yeah, you need to have more compassion on them. Because he says, you do know that you and Eloise and Evelyn do struggle with the spirit of self-righteousness. If you're not careful. I had to put y'all in there to help me out. So there's a whole bunch of other people in here. Because you never did it. The way we was taught, the Bible says knowledge does what? It puffs up. You want knowledge, but there are side effects to knowledge. He said to me, you need to be careful. You need to help those folks. And I said, well, Lord, I just can't, in the church, you know how we get in the church house. Lord, they did what? And he said, well, you know, you was raised differently. I've never seen any of that in church. I had 2 pastors, 3 pastors, but mainly 2 pastors. Their lifestyle was so clean. I never even, you might not agree with everything they said, but their lifestyle, especially with sexual sins. Now, I got to get out. You have to understand, sisters, that what God did in creation with a man made him more susceptible to sexual sins. I had one sister say right, one brother say right, and everybody else like, what? Is that right? Oh, that's good. That's good. That's good. That's good. That's good. I'm not trying to preach, I'm trying to minister. Oh, that's good. Oh, that's good. You know why I say that? Because I see God breaking stuff loose. I see chains breaking. That's why when he's sending word and I see people getting free, that's how they're more susceptible. Because just how they're designed, how they're built. because they're supposed to be the aggressor. And what you've seen and what you've heard, even in church, the way it was at church and the way it was at home was different. But he said to me, you have to understand, Frank, I gave you your personality, and every pastor I gave you, they were so clean in the area of sexual sins. You thought that's just the way everything was. That's normal for you, but what about the other people that all they saw in church was leaders messing up and leaders doing this and that? He said, you need to calm that self-righteousness down. Now, you got to get to a place where God can talk to you like that. Yeah, you got it too. You got the propensity too. You got it too. Yeah, you got it too. Amen. We all got struggles. Everybody got a struggle. Everybody got an obstacle. I'm not going to. Can I? I want to minister to the young men and the men, but since we know we all got obstacles, all got struggles, different from other people, but everybody in this building got a struggle, and usually the struggle is based on the environment you grew up in and what you came out of. You say, I don't have no struggle. I came from a good family. Good family. My father was there. I was a good family. He was abusive. He was controlling. And that worked in his house because your mother was all beat down and she just said, yes, sir, it ain't going to work in your house. Somebody need to tell you, and I come to tell you, it ain't going to work in your house. But can we get somebody that says, you know what? I stepped out of the environment of a struggle and I thought I was free from it, but I'm beginning to realize in honesty, and I look at my life, my whole life, it's been a struggle trying not to. Or the wrong house, went to the wrong house, the wrong babysitter. Can I get the men? If you have that, I'm not begging. I'm just saying if you have that. That doesn't mean you've succumbed to it, but it's an obstacle. One more time, everybody, look at somebody and say, we all have struggles. And this is just the first altar call, because I'm coming to your struggle next. I'll get you in a minute. Just come on to the altar now. As everybody is praying. Everybody's praying. And if it hadn't surfaced, you saying, Lord, I don't want that to surface. And even though Elijah was a powerful man, he was powerful, and he had never done anything like that, but his fear was, I'm gonna end up doing what my fathers did.
For mobile giving, text the amount you wish to donate to 501-302-4242.
The Acts Church in North Little Rock is located at 1224 Franklin Street. Morning Glory begins at 8 a.m. on Sunday mornings. Sunday school begins at 8:30 a.m. And for a powerful word, join us at 9:30 a.m. for our morning worship service. Bible study is each Wednesday at 6:30 p.m. At our Conway location, Morning Glory begins at 10 a.m. Sunday school begins at 10:30 a.m. Worship service begins at 11:30 a.m. On Thursday, our Bible class begins at 6:30 p.m. For more information, go to actsministriesonline.org or give us a call at 501-329-2055.
Thank you for tuning in to the Acts Ministry Podcast. The Acts Church is located at 1423 Ingram Street in Conway and 1224 Franklin Street in North Little Rock, Arkansas. Tune in each day to hear an inspiring word from Pastor Frank Stewart.